Hi boys and girls, today we're going to be building a house. Just like in the book, The House That Jack Built, we're going to build our own house and we're going to get creative today. We're going to be using lots of different painting techniques. We're going to be trying out new art supplies to build our house. So I told you we were learning about shapes. So we're going to be using some different shape patterns. You'll be tracing these onto your own paper. So my windows are going to be made out of squares. My door will be a rectangle. My roof will be a triangle. The bottom of my house will be a square. And then we're going to be adding different shapes onto our house. We can also add a chimney, which will be a rectangle. All right, so as you can see in my finished house, it's not actually fitting all in the video, but I think you can see it pretty well. We are going to be using different techniques and painting tools to create our house. So it's pretty simple. If I have my triangle, I have here some oil pastels. I have neon oil pastels. You're going to have lots of different options to be using. I have some chalk. I've got some temper cakes to use. I even found some different color temper paint. I'm even going to use a stamp pad and maybe some stamps in my designs. The other thing I grabbed were some different tools that we can dip into the paint to make stamps and print on them. All right, well, I know right away that I want a saying on my house, and I have different stamps. If you're in class, you'll be able to use. If you're not at home, you could either write a word, or if you have a stamp at home you want to use, that's fine too. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just dipping my stamp into my ink pad, and I want this to be right in the center of my roof. It says, "Home is where your heart is." And then I found a little heart stamp. I think I'll put it right here. Okay, so I wanted that to be kind of my focal point on my roof. So then around my roof, I think I'll use oil pastels first. Let's see. You can really do whatever you'd like. I'm going to use some of those lines that we made last time with our line making. I'm going to add maybe some scallop lines on my house. I think I'll put that maybe along the whole house here. And you don't have to do it yours like mine. You can really do whatever you want to create your house. I want my house to be bright and colorful. Maybe you want your house to look a little more realistic. That is going to be up to you how you create your house. Oops, I accidentally smeared. That wasn't dry yet. Oh well. Okay. I am going to throw a few more types of lines on my house with oil pastel. And we've learned in the past that oil pastel resists paint. So that's kind of fun that we can add, oops, broke my oil pastel, some paint over these and these colors will still show up. All right. Let's try maybe a little paint now. So I have my water, oops, and my temper cakes. Okay, I think I'm going to add a little green to my house. So I'm getting a little green paint. I might even paint inside these little scallops. Okay, and you can really do this however you'd like. I'm just going to show you some different things you might want to use on this. Okay, so you're going to have all your different shapes that you're going to need to paint, to use chalk, oil pastels, you can use crayons, colored pencils, If you're gonna use marker, make sure if you're using paint that you don't paint over your marker or your colors will run, but that might be kind of a cool technique too. This project's really about you kind of discovering different art materials. We're also learning about shapes, and then we'll be constructing our house. Your goal for you is to get all of your shapes of your house kind of colored or printed today, and then tomorrow we will be constructing the house and putting on any finishing touches. Okay, so I told you some tempera paint, which is a little different than the tempera cakes or watercolor. These do not need water, so I'm kind of drying my brush off here. Okay, now you could just paint. I might put a little paint in this heart. Okay, maybe you want some stripes on your house. Okay, another cool thing to do is if you have a stamp, you could paint on your stamp, and then we're learning a little bit about printmaking. Maybe you're going to add some flowers. I'll add some more paint to my stamp. Okay, so it's kind of really whatever you have available to you to use on your different shapes for your house. I'm gonna try to get 2 out of that one. That came out a little okay. Okay, maybe, now that that's wet, that's probably not a good idea to paint around that yet, but I think I'm gonna add some chalk around it. Now, chalk's kind of fun to use because it will spread, and it is good for covering bigger areas. Now, normally I would have let that paint dry, but for this video, I'm just trying to show you. See, that was silly of me. I should have let it dry. Okay, I'm just kind of showing you some different things that you could use on your house. You know what? Sometimes we just turn our mistakes into beautiful oopses. Maybe when that is all dry, I will go through and I'll add a little detail around there. So I might just kind of take this all the way up on my house. And now, once those dry, I'm gonna go up a little closer and maybe probably in between those. But I'm gonna wait a few minutes for that to dry. Okay, so there would be my first one finished. The next one I'm gonna do is my square, and then I'm gonna go on to do my windows and my doors. Now, the one last thing I wanna share with you, I'm not gonna show you how I design all these. At the end, I'll put a picture. A great idea though is to use a black oil pastel around your shapes. So I'm just gonna kind of show you that real quick. I'm gonna turn that over since I got it all dirty with my fingers. Mrs. Fisher should have a paper towel next to her. Is to kind of edge with an oil pastel or a black crayon around your shapes. And that will kind of make them pop out. Okay, if you want, you can use a finger, kind of smear it, and it depends on the look that you're going for. Okay, but I do like to do that as it kind of makes my shapes pop out. Let me show you on my original house. Do you see how I have the black lines kind of around my windows and my doors and also my chimney? And it just kind of made my painting pop out. So as you can see, there's no right or wrong way to create this house. You can create it with whatever painting techniques and things that you have available to you. All right, once you get all your shapes together, I want you to save those, okay? Because tomorrow then we will be finishing any shapes we didn't get done, and then we'll be gluing our house together. All right, I hope you have fun creating this project. There is nothing to turn in for the first day. The second day, we will take a picture of our house and then upload those to Canvas. All right, have fun.